Today is September the 3rd. Welcome to Pretty Good Gamers Daily News Video. We've got a lot to talk about today, and I want to get it done quickly because I need to get home. It's my daughter's 10th birthday today. I know what you're thinking, guys, you don't look old enough to have a 10-year-old daughter. I look like 24. I know. It's crazy. Stop it. You're too kind. Red Dead Redemption 2 is easily one of the most anticipated games of the year, and with its release now less than 2 months away, excitement for the game is only getting more intense. So it was a bit of a surprise to find out that several GameStop employees who were shown gameplay of Rockstar's upcoming game actually found it boring. They were shown over 20 minutes of footage at this year's GME conference, after which many of them took to Reddit to share their not so hot impressions. Jay Grindberg said it was a beautiful game, but mostly just saw horse riding simulator. Very difficult to stay awake. Don't get me wrong, I still think the game will be fantastic, just the demo was kinda boring to watch. WD Combo hit on a similar note, saying, "You might as well have put lullaby music into the trailer to accompany the narration. I also fell asleep a few times during that demo. I was hoping he would shoot his horse in the nuts at some point." Sorry, what now? You were hoping for what? According to some users like Chrononova, the dude playing couldn't find the sprint button. Super slow. Despite a handful of negative comments, many were actually very happy and impressed by what they were shown. Black Static said that they showed off the graphics and an early robbery. The game looks gorgeous and the physics were amazing. This game is easily going to compete with God of War, and I also see Spider-Man making the list as well. As for why there was such a noticeable number of negative comments about the gameplay, user 1001 Mistakes provides a more reasonable answer. To give a little context, everyone was exhausted from the week, and it's the last thing they showed us. I nodded for a minute, but the game is beautiful. The world looks so meticulously constructed, and the demo was a flawless example of the mechanics, world, and physics the game has to offer. I didn't play the first one and had zero excitement for the game going into it, but came out stoked on getting it. It's fair to say that showing a slow-paced, dry demo while everyone at the convention was rather tired perhaps wasn't the best idea. And maybe they were expecting gameplay more along the lines of GTA 5, because obviously it's Rockstar developing this game, the same as GTA 5, and you've got fast cars, helicopters, speedboats, and all that kind of high-octane stuff in GTA 5. This, not so much. This is the Wild West. You get a horse. That is it. They eat, they shit, and they smell pretty bad too. Not exactly the most glamorous means of transportation. Maybe it might have been a little bit better to show a more high-octane gameplay trailer or something where there's a lot of things going on, not just a guy who can't use the sprint button on his horse just moseying around. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased on this one because I love the original Red Dead Redemption and I can't wait for the sequel either. And maybe this is the first indicator that some people are going to be pretty disappointed in this game if they're expecting something along the lines of GTA 5. Either way, what do you think about the game? Are you still excited for it? Are you questioning it now? Maybe this isn't the game that you thought it was going to be. Let me know your thoughts and everything else down in the comments below. SCUM is an upcoming online multiplayer survival game developed by Game Perez and published by Devolver Digital. The premise of the game being that players take on the roles of criminals dropped on a deserted island in a fight for survival. With realism playing a huge part, the game offers hardcore gameplay and sophisticated survival systems. Players have to manage things like their metabolism and body temperature, as well as, just look out for all the other people who are trying to kill you. The game launched into Steam Early Access on August the 29th and reportedly sold over 250,000 copies within the first 24 hours. The game also made it to the 7th position for the most concurrent players on Steam and the 2nd place for most concurrent viewers on Twitch. So you could say it's been going pretty well. However, the Early Access launch hasn't gone without its problems. On release, players found that they could decorate their avatars with white supremacist symbols. The Nazi tattoos were part of the SCUM supporter pack, which included an iron cross with a skull in the centre. Tattoos also included the numbers 14 and 88, which in themselves are also supremacist symbols. Some players, as you can imagine, weren't happy, taking to Steam community forums to raise their grievances. And initially, Game Perez community manager Zenoslav was quick to dismiss the issue, writing, "It's a game, it's fiction. If you're offended by some textures in the game, please don't play the game. Because if we start removing things that hurt someone's feelings, it will be an empty game with no people, no weapons, no blood, no humour, no pooping, killing others, eating human flesh, killing animals. We are not right-wing, we are not Nazi supporters, and the only offending thing here, in my opinion, is calling us Nazi supporters for no reason." It's not no reason, though, is it? I mean, you literally can put a Nazi tattoo on your character. However, this story took a turn when the tattoos were patched out of the game soon after, with publisher Devolver Digital issuing a statement to Kotaku which read, "Devolver Digital has become aware of tattoos representing neo-Nazi symbology in the newly released prison survival simulation game SCUM. We do not agree with use of this symbology or any hateful content, regardless of intention." Developers Game Perez themselves saying, "Our intention was to create an atmosphere of the worst criminals in SCUM, and to portray the horrible type of people who would find themselves in a fight to the death situation for a futuristic reality show where the worst criminals are pitted against one another. We apologise for this misstep and promise to our fans that we will take more caution in our approach moving forward." Devolver Digital say they're now conducting a full review of all assets and content in the game. You could say this was a bit of a misstep to allow players to put white supremacist symbols on their avatars. There may not have been such an outcry if these tattoos and symbols were on non-playable characters, people who you didn't control yourself. Nazis are a pretty safe bet for NPCs and bad guys, not so much as the protagonist as you yourself. You shouldn't really be allowed to be a Nazi, should you? Game Perez obviously said that their intentions were innocent, they just wanted to represent the worst of the worst. But what do you think? Do you think it was an innocent oversight, or do you think they're maybe trying to push some sort of agenda? Will it affect whether you're buying the game, or do you not care at all? Let me know down in the comments below. It's time for your favourite part of the show now. It is the news nuggets, and there's a lot of them today, so brace yourselves. Last week saw the rise of Puddlegate after comparisons of Insomniac's Spider-Man showed a puddle had been removed since last year. Keen to avoid similar controversy, while at PAX West over the weekend, lead producer of BioWare's Anthem had this to say about a screenshot of their game.
There's a lot to unpack here, but most importantly, you'll see that there's a puddle right in the ground, right in the middle of that. There's a 98% chance that that puddle is going to be changed, moved, reduced.
Don't touch my puddle.
In other Anthem news, it was announced that a full Anthem demo will be available for anyone who pre-orders the game or has EA access on February the 1st. We also got our first look at how dialogue will work in Anthem, and unlike previous BioWare games, you will only have 2 dialogue options to choose from. And finally, in Anthem news, we got a gameplay features trailer showcasing more of the world of Anthem, as well as the faces you'll become familiar with. If you're one of the few people who wants to play CSGO but doesn't actually own it yet, there is now a free version. Unfortunately, if you do enjoy playing multiplayer, then you're shit out of luck, as the free version is offline only, where you can only play against bots. Just Cause 4, which is releasing on December the 4th this year, got some brand new screenshots and gives us a glimpse at the different biomes the game will feature. Hitman 2, which is scheduled for release on the 13th of November, got a new trailer. The Talos Principle, which was previously only available on PlayStation and PC, is now available on Xbox One, and that launched with a new trailer. And Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, a prequel to 2015's Rebel Galaxy, was announced along with screenshots and a trailer. It launches in Q1 of 2019 for PS4, Nintendo Switch and PC. Links to all the trailers and everything that I've just mentioned in the nuggets are down in the description of this video, so go and check them out if you want to see more. Today's dad joke comes in from Not That Rob Lowe on the PGG Discord. My ex said it was disrespectful that I wiped my nose on her dad's curtains. I say it's his own fault for having such a ridiculous haircut. Now, if that didn't make you smile, then you're probably dead on the inside. Next up, cross-platform play has been a bit of a hot topic in the industry over the past year, with the likes of Microsoft and Nintendo getting on board with the concept and allowing players to play with each other regardless of whether they own an Xbox One or Switch, with Sony not being quite as open to the idea and receiving a lot of criticism as a result. At the IFA Technology Show in Germany, Sony Chief Executive Kenshiro Yoshida gave an answer as to why Sony have steered clear of cross-platform play, saying the following: "On cross-platform, our way of thinking is always that PlayStation is the best place to play. Fortnite, I believe, partnered with PS4, is the best experience for users. That is our belief." It was only back in July of this year that Sony representative Sean Layden gave us a small glimmer of hope for cross-platform play on the PS4, saying that they hope to reach a solution that everybody could be happy with. Kenshiro Yoshida, I appreciate your commitment to your own product. However, is the PlayStation really the best place to play if you can't play with your mates who are playing on other platforms? Just saying. Over the past few months, games have been changing or straight up removing loot boxes in Belgium due to new laws that classify loot boxes as gambling. One of these games was 2K's NBA 2K19, which removed the option to buy card packs with real money in the country. 2K obviously aren't happy about this, writing in a statement that they're working to comply with the BGC's current interpretation of these laws and are continuing conversations with Belgian officials about the matter. Perhaps the most interesting part of the statement, however, was their plea to fans after suggesting their loot boxes already comply with the new laws. If you agree, we recommend that you contact your local government representative to communicate your opinion. Yeah, that's right. 2K are asking you to tell the government why you want loot boxes in your games. Dear legislator, could you please allow games to teach me how to gamble? Let them use my compulsiveness against me in order to take money from me in games that I've already paid for the sole purpose of maximising the profits of these huge, greedy corporations. Kind regards, Braindead Gamer. I can't see that working. That is it for today's daily dose of gaming news. I'll be back again tomorrow at exactly the same time. Hit the bell if you want to be notified of when that video goes live. I will see you then. Bye for now.